let's give it a listen. Ooh, nice. I like the violin. Good entrance. This is really beautiful. I'm curious as to what the title means. This is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful. It's, oh, I was just about to be like, but it's not going, and then immediately it had that little half step thing. That was crazy. So, I'll let it go. Nice. Okay, so the title makes sense now. The title makes sense. Right, the interrupted. Oh, no, sir. Hal Leonard Orchestra, no thank you. Okay, let's talk about it. Very cool piece. I like the theme. So those of you who've watched before, you know how I feel about titles. I didn't know I had such strong opinions about titles until I started listening to and reviewing more music. So the title is very much indicative of the ending, which is kind of a cool thing. It's like, ooh, it ends with the interruption. I was waiting for the interruptions to happen sort of throughout. So it does sort of make me wonder, like, why didn't it, what is it interrupting? It sort of begs a question. A couple of notation things. So I don't love the formatting of the score. Typically in 5, like the physical layout, it's actually kind of confusing. I wasn't entirely sure. Okay, so these are these are the These are the systems. I don't love that. Some notation things like having a whole note tied to a quarter note in 5/4 as a musician, or as a reader, I guess. You would want to probably have like a dotted half note tied to a half note is easier to read. This is not too bad in 6/8, but I don't understand why it's not just in 3/4, unless there was thinking about how the ensemble is going to be coming together. that this particular like this counting is going to provide some problems for people trying to come together as an ensemble, because it's unnecessarily convoluted. And then with like these fours, it's not that big of a deal. These are little things. Compositionally, I really like it. The one thing, and I made mention of this quite a bit last stream on a few pieces, is like, what is the reason behind keeping the everything in these really safe, low, like medium registers? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing, like the viola is in kind of its middle register, the horns kind of in its middle to high register, the bassoon is in its middle sort of tenor area. Like it makes it difficult to create a sense of drama, because it's all sort of just sitting in this mezzo forte range, if that makes sense, right? And it's funny to think of like the tessitura being a dynamic marking, but it's very much giving this like I'm playing in, you know, almost like a 2.5 octave range throughout the whole thing. And I know it's maybe not exactly 2.5 octaves, but it's not far. Like, this was the highest note, and it's like, it didn't stand out to me. Like, I wasn't like, oh, we finally made it, to this high F. Like, it kind of just like, it was fine. What are you looking at? I don't know. What are you looking at there, Mr. Kenyon Martinez? What am I looking at? We're looking at the score. So that's kind of, that would be my big point. And the big takeaway is that you should utilize more, like, I know it's like, oh, well, I wanted it to all kind of be this sonorous in the middle, but if this is supposed to be a standalone piece of music, like, why not use the extremes? Not even the extremes, just use the range that the instruments have. Otherwise, it's all going to sit in this sort of mezzo forte range. Good dynamics, couple of notation problems. Cool idea for a piece, like thematically, the interruption with the Bartok pits, like that's cool. I would give this is a solid 7.2 out of 10. 7.2 out of 10. We're trying to get to 20 million likes, everybody. So be sure to like. I don't know. Okay, cool. So yeah, 7.2 out of 10 for KJ Lynch for their piece Interrupted. You know what? It's 7.5. You get a couple of bonus decibel points for the cool for the theme of it, right? Not the melodic theme, but like the performative theme. All right, so right now we are in the queue, and we have already filled up quite a bit of pieces here. So we now have close to 16 pieces in the queue. We have 16 pieces of music that we have to get through. If you want to skip the line, you know the drill. Drop a super chat, and that will put you at the top of the line. Cool. Moving on to the next piece, we have, this is called, oh wait, what did I just listen to? I'm so confused. Oh, I see. It's an electronic composition that has a score? Question mark? Why? What does that mean? I'm excited. This is called Fundamental Orientation. It is by Speedy Sonic X7. Fundamental Orientation. I like this a lot. This is funky. Cool chord change. Does the guitar do this the whole time? Or the harp? I feel like the score kind of isn't necessary. Short and sweet. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right, there's like a whole little dissertation here up top. Should we read this? Wait. Oh, very cute. Look at you can't see the composer here. Look at the composer. It says, I am Seth. Very cute, very fun. I love it. For some context, this track is from an arena shooter game that me and my other person are going to publish on Steam. Oh, so this is video game music. I couldn't tell. Who would have guessed that it was video game music? Very unusual. Jokes. All right, so because it does provide context for like what this music is in terms of like it's video game music, so it kind of supposed to be a little meandering. And I don't mean meandering in a bad way, but like harmonically, the direction is it kind of just goes to like from point A to point B to point C to point D, you know, and it kind of just moves, bobs and weaves in this, you know, generic B minor-esque kind of a thing. And while that's not necessary, is this, right, and then you have some cool little minor 5 here. We modulate down to E minor. So I can't really speak much to it. Does not have to be a video, just anything you want. So context is everything, right? So now that I know that this is supposed to be video game music, I'm going to sort of critique it as such. And with that in mind, I would say that it's a little generic, you know, like, is it supposed to be? See, I shouldn't have to ask these questions. You know, if I have to say, like, is it supposed to be just like, ooh, kind of vibey first person shooter throwback, you know, early 2000s, late 90s, kind of GoldenEye, you know, low resolution, 64-bit gaming. You know, it's not supposed to be too invasive, but if you are making video game music for a like an indie game, you know what makes an indie game. When I play like indie horror games, I don't play a lot, but I do like some indie games. And when indie games are introduced to me, I'm looking at all aspects of it. And so the music can be a really powerful component. And so if you just have this sort of generic, like, oh, the music's cool, it's kind of this like mid-tempo rock minor thing, but like it's sort of forgettable, you know, like having a really strong principal melody as opposed to, you know, a fourth. You know, like, ooh. Like, that's a very, very, like, that. I've heard that theme, that motif a million times. Oops, sorry. You know, why not give it a memorable tune, right? This idea of having a tune in the music as opposed to just like, oh, you know, it's kind of like I could not hum the Avengers theme. It's just some variation of like, you Like I have no idea. I couldn't even guess, but it's just this, fourth, fifth leaps that kind of sit and float around, and then it sounds like the meat of the music comes from these cool chord changes, right? This little kind of diminished flat 9 bass note, that's a nice cool chord. You've got a nice little chord progression here going on. The cue, Zach, is for today. I don't have time to go through everything. So resubmit forms. It's all new. So like the melody, the chord changes are cool. So do your chord changes justice by adding a memorable tune on top. I'll say that again. Make your cool chord progressions worthwhile by adding a memorable tune on top. So many times, composers and producers, particularly in the 21st century, they hear a cool chord progression and it's like, oh, these chords are wavy, man. These are really cool chords, and I really like this chord progression. And then they feel like by adding a melody that's like has a definitive melodic structure is like, I don't know, like somehow takes away from it or something. Like, it's all about the chord. Like chords are cool, but what's cooler than chords? A melody supported by cool chords. And yes, it will take the focus off the chord changes, but like we still experience the chord changes. We're just not focused on them. We're focused on the melody and the tune. Like I couldn't have told you what this tune was. It just kind of sounded like a voice that was in the chords. And then because of the 16th notes, like I'm assuming that's the melody, right? The light, you have it literally labeled the leitmotif. The fact there's a leitmotif, prelude, succeeding level, didn't give away. You can search sicko thing. So that's my thing. Like, give it a definitive tune, a melody that you could, you know what I mean? With these chords. A little bit more move. I'm not saying it should have been that, but some bum bum da da doo dum 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 ba da dum 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 da dee da. You know what I mean? Something that I can sing as opposed to la da ba bum ba da dum or whatever like that. I'm kind of losing. I don't know. So yeah, that's I like it though, and this is an instance where the MIDI instruments, given that I'm assuming that it's going to be not like a lo-fi game, but like kind of a chill, like it's it's not like a Doom soundtrack, like I really like the MIDI instruments, very very cool. I like it. All right, Q is starting to fill up like crazy. So once again, trying to get to 20 million likes. If you want to skip the line, skip the queue, throw in a super chat, and that puts you immediately at the top. This video is sponsored by Seth David. I'm your host, Seth David, here to talk about Seth David and your music with Seth David. Brought to you by the Seth David Foundation. All right, let's listen to Dr. Exaggerator, Journey of the Jungle, an instrumental track. Journey of the Jungle. I like the title. Please tell me it's 7.5 minutes long. For best experience, use headphones. The video is telling me to use headphones. It's too slow. This is like the Prince of Egypt. Am I muted? Alicia, thank you for the $5. $5 from Alicia. Appreciate that. Okay, so like what? Why? First of all, why is it so quiet? Like, I have it turned all the way up. Like, is it quiet like this the whole time? And does that bongo thing go on the whole time? Sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Nope. Oh, wait. Bongo solo. Yeah. All right, so really, really cool. I like a very good idea, good start. There's a couple. I don't need to hear the whole thing, and that's kind of bums me out a little bit because I want to listen to the whole thing, but skimming through it, like after the first 3 minutes, if nothing changed, I didn't get a sense that much would change. There was a bit of a tempo change there. So when you start your video off by saying for best experience, use headphones, I have my headphones turned up pretty high, like my monitors, and it's still very quiet. So you can't say, like, for best experience, use headphones. Like, it can be soft but still be normalized where it's at a volume that you can actually hear. Like, unfortunately, I would listen to this whole thing after the stream. I'd be like, all right, let me check out this thing and really experience this. It's 7.5-minute piece of meditation that doesn't have a lot of changes, but, I understand sort of its meditative quality, but it's literally not loud enough. Like, it has, like, normalize it, put a limiter on, bring up, even at the soft spots, you can raise the level, and then when the strings come in, boom, you can re-level it. Like, our ears, we're going to perceive it as getting louder when the strings come in, even if it's not, even if it's only like a decibel or two louder. However, like, the whole thing just sounds underwhelming and soft. It's not really a journey in the jungle. It's more like the loading screen menu on a game that takes place in a jungle. So worth a listen if you turned up the mix a little bit. And then for 7.5 minutes, I'm going to make an executive decision and say that, like, unless you're really well established in the sense of, like, oh my God, I can totally, get away with these 7-minute meditation pieces that don't really change. Like, if you're dealing with, like, some kind of form of minimalism or something that's, like, new and engaging, that would make sense. But, like, it's hard to justify a 7.5-minute piece of music that doesn't have a lot more going on. Like, I've listened to these orchestral pieces and these band pieces that are like 5 minutes, and then I'm like, oh, they could trim here and there. But it's kind of just like, here's this bongo pattern, here's some beautiful textures. All the textures are beautiful, but a texture isn't enough to carry a whole composition. And again, these are insights that I'm sharing that come from my own experience and coming from somebody who has written music that this sounds very much like the music that I was writing when I first kind of got into composition and comfortable in a DAW. I was like, oh, cool. Like these vocal pads and these strings and then these cool chants. And it's a great, like, I'd be curious to hear what you're making in a year or in a couple of years, if that makes sense. Really, really solid. For a good solid go, but not it's not a final product, right? It's a great piece of student electronic music. So I'll get that's a 6. That's a good 6. 6 out of 10. So I really, it's funny. I have this thing where like I feel bad like giving less. Like I want to give everybody 10s. I want to give everybody hugs, but tough love, I guess. I don't know. Really cool. Like it. Like if it was a 3, I would have told you a 3. All right. We have the very wonderful Alicia Dalby with the $5 super chat, skipping the line to here. Ilicification. I don't know what this means. All right. This is a piece for band. All right. So let's see. Cool intro. Let's fucking go, dude. Let's fucking go. That is how you start a goddamn piece of music. See, everybody else would start with this. But you start with that crazy fucking chord. And then the bassoons in thirds. Oh, good rhythm. This is very like 1960s Hollywood. I love this kind of music. Yeah. By now it should be building up. You should be hearing more of the orchestra already playing. Or maybe we're getting there. Good use of like the counter melody. Nice. Oh, here we go. Bum. Sweet. A little too much of this dancing around in the woodwind stuff. With not enough tutti, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like we're still sort of tiptoeing around. Here we go, and... Bartok and Messiaen have entered the chat. Normal clap, not a slow clap, not a fast clap, a normal clap. Okay, wow, this is great. I love this. This is cool. It's concise. I understand it musically. I don't have any questions. I get what you're going for. What was the title? It had a weird title, right? It had a weird title that I couldn't pronounce. Illicifation, I think it was. Cool. So what I said earlier about where the lines were kind of bopping around, 20 million likes, everybody. Let's get to 20 million likes, please. I kind of take it back. It was a little bit horse before the carriage, because you really wrapped it up at this stuff after the retardando into, was it the temp? No, not quite. See, that's a smart. This is a really good. This is a really good orchestrative compositional device here, where you are about 10 clicks faster than tempo primo, right? So it started at 80, and then the big section ended at 90. And why that's really good is because a conductor is going to take that faster, right? Right. That's like, if I were conducting this, and I love conducting, man. I haven't, unfortunately, had the chance to conduct any like big bands or orchestras probably in the past couple of years. But like I would have a hell of a time. Score looks real clean. Easy to read, easy to follow the score, what's going on. I would say it needs like maybe a sprig, a dollop, a dash of tonality that like something to latch onto, because it is giving like Messiaen, Bartok, maybe late Stravinsky, maybe some Charles Ives in there, like something to for the listener to latch onto, but not at all necessary. You know what I'm saying? Like it was not at all, like it didn't need that. It could just be a fun way to kind of give something. Okay, can we get some likes in the chat for See You Must See You said, I made my first song and I would put it here, but I got to fight against my own cringe. Can we hear the cringe? I want to hear See You Must See You, see this person's first song. I might pin their message. But because this piece is so short, it didn't really need that moment of, like it almost like if it ended on like a big like fucking D flat major chord or something, it'd be kind of funny. Not a lot of harmonic like structure. I get the sense that this is kind of through composed serialism. Well, not through composed. There's clearly the motivic and the rhythmic. Like it was much more rhythmically thematic than it was harmonically. Like the melody, the ba-dum 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 da-dum da-da-da-da-dum da-dum da-da, you know what I mean? Like I don't remember what the notes were exactly. Like it's not sticking. It sticks in my head more as a sound, rather than like a melody. It was kind of using. Oh, lost points. Points docked. What is this? Random measure of eighth note rests. Points docked. Boo. Short and sweet. I really like this composition. The dancing winds, pretty good percussion. Probably something this short could probably use a little bit more percussion. Like when you have the sort of cutesy dancing wind figures, like the oboe to the English horn, or cor anglais, if you will, into the cascading flute, back into the English horn. Don't be afraid to doctor up some of these little like cute little quirky lines with the percussion. Like here when the glot comes in, like throw in the little percussion, here, give the percussionist some love, Cool. Love it. Love it. Love it. This is good. This is a solid, Casey with the $4.99 super chat for another piece. Oh, let's see if I give it. So yeah, don't be afraid to play with a little bit of percussion. Yeah, I really like this. I don't have any questions about it. I understand it. I would love to conduct something like this. This is a 9. This is a very strong 9. I think the reason it's not a 10 is it's not the most unique original piece. Like, I'm biased because I like this type of music, right? This kind of atonal, wacky, janky stuff. So it's like, where it would be like an 8, for me it's a 9, right? It's just not the most original. Like, it sounds like it could have been written anytime within the past 100 of years, but that doesn't mean I don't like it any less or more. So very, very cool. 9, solid 9 out of 10. All right, let's keep it moving with the super chats. Right now, $4.99 is the price to beat. To skip the queue, we are going into another KCJL composition called Aftermath for Chamber Ensemble. Hopefully there's more use of the ranges. Oh, it's the same tempo as the other one. Still with the beautiful harmonic language. Oh, this is gushy and gorgeous. Why is it only 3 pages? Barber-esque in the harmony. Yes! Bro. Aww. Nice little chord there at the end. We like the little G, the little perfect authentic cadence. Okay, so I do like this one a little bit better than the other one that you submitted. So I have one big problem with this. Okay, big problem is maybe a little extra, but I have one sort of glaring problem with this, but I want to talk about the good stuff first. So, one, the payoff at the end with the high violin, definitely worth it. It was funny because I was almost like, if I hadn't looked ahead, I was going to be like, oh no, it's the same thing. Everything's in this safe registers. And I don't fully understand the instrumentation. Like, there's no divisi. Like, you have it marked as violin ones, but there are no violin twos, and there's no divisi. So I don't really understand. Like, I would almost think of this as maybe do like a string quintet or like kind of a wonky string quartet, maybe. Like, I feel like this would be better as. And now I don't really like string orchestras. I prefer string quartet. Now, obviously, I understand the bass notes and the contrabass are important. So, having is it a string? I'm dumb. Is a string quintet have a bass in it? I feel like it must, right? It's been so long since I've thought about this. Quintet, right? A string quintet. The fifth instrument, it has to be the bass, right? It's, 2 violins, a viola, cello, a second viola, double bass. Okay, fair enough. I don't know, whatever. Who cares? So the payoff at the end with the high note violin, harmonic language is beautiful. It really had sort of a sense of direction, nice little chromaticism here and there, giving a sense of longing. Little bit of Shosti, right? A little bit of Shostakovich, definitely some Samuel Barber. So my big problem with this are these right here. These rests, these pauses, these totally unnecessary pauses. They disrupt the flow of the whole thing, right? There's one here. One I would maybe understand, but there's like 5, right? Then the solo, there's a 2-beat, a 2-beat rest after the fermata. It's like, the phrase has ended, and now I'm beginning another phrase. And then there's another pause. Then the cello joins. Then the next section begins, and it's tacit. And it's only half a beat this time, but still. Yeah, there's like 4 of these pauses. Now, I understand, the music of silence, right? I love pauses and rests as much. In fact, I have literally in front of me the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail. I am a disciple of John Cage, always have been, right? I keep that in front of me. But like, it disrupts the flow. And, this it's already at a slow tempo. So why slow it down more with these pauses that don't, like, they're not doing anything for me. It's not like there's a da-dee-da-doo-da-dee-da-doo-da-da. If there was like an accelerando into a pause, that would sort of make sense. You know what I mean? Good use of dynamics. But, think about like how much more poignant, right? Melancholic, sad would it be if the pauses were even longer, and then there was just this hanging note, just like a harmonic on the violin, right? A really high note. So it wouldn't be, and these high notes would be like a foreshadowing of this medium high register. This is still not even that high for a violin, if we're being honest. Like, a high F, it's like a good violinist can go higher than that. And it's very beautiful. Again, is it the most original sounding thing? No. However, I like slow, beautiful string harmony, string quartets, right? Or quintets. But, so, I'm a little biased because I like this kind of thing. This is lovely. Like, I would love to hear this performed. And I imagine this being in like a multi-movement set, and then there's some really fast, wacky, not wacky, weird, but like aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, immediately, this would be the aftermath to something that's called like the frenzy or something like that. So I am curious to know if there's other pieces. Solid, rock solid, loving it, loving it, loving it. This is an 8, right? 20 million likes, everybody. We got to get to 20 million likes. Don't forget to smash that like button. 20 million likes. That's the only way I figured out how to ask for likes and not die of cringe, is by making it just sound some unholy fucking number. All right, very good. Let's say this is an easy 8. This is an easy 8 for me. Honestly, if you had added those, like if you had gotten rid of some of those pauses and added those weird suspended harmonics and added a little bit more like more stringness to it, right? This could just be for any droning tones, right? Also, where are the slurs? There's like 2 slurs in the whole piece. I noticed this. There's one slur where you're like, this is the melody. And then there's one slur between this B to F. Like, like add some slurs here. Some staccato, a little articulation, right? Chat, how we doing, chat? Chat, what do we rate that piece? I rated it an 8. What are y'all rating it, right? Esther 765 with the 7.65 Brazilian something super chat. Props. So we are moving on to the next super chat after I see what chat gives that rates that string thing, I guess. It's not really a quartet. Yeah, I'm having trouble understanding what the Divisi is there. Moving on to, let's see here. Esther 765. I'm Esther 765 from Brazil. I'm not seeing what your piece is called. And I'm not seeing what your name is in the Google Sheet. Esther, can you make sure that you submit your piece? Because you dropped a very nice super chat, and I appreciated that. Unless you're just saying, hold on, I got to Google Translate this. Maybe this says I don't speak Portuguese. Translation. I'm now Googling things. Say hi from Brazil. Oh, hello. What's up? Cool. 7.75, 8. Everybody agrees with me on an 8. Slurs aren't very nice. Okay, very funny. All right. Thank you from Brazil. I'm going to give you a heart. Right now, we are number 2. Where are we in the queue? Oh my God. We got 25 pieces in the queue. Let's see. I got to make sure I checked, reviewed. We are now on Golden Koi, voice memo, rap. Oh my God. Ambient rap, voice memo type beat. Let's fucking go. I cannot wait to hear this. Oh, there's a music video. Oh my God, chat. We should watch the music video. We absolutely 100% need to watch the music video, don't we? Yes, we do. Okay, hold on. Oh, this is going to be so good. Oh my God. Reacting to a music video. Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go. This is going to be incredible. All right, hold on. I got to create a new OBS instance, window capture, music vid. Cancel. All right, let's go. Here we go. What is it called? Where is Google Chrome? Hold on, I'm so excited. Oh, Voice Memos is the name of the song. All right. Let's get it. Here we go. I mess with the beat.
I done see your face plenty times. Not sure if I got it right. Not sure if I need the purchase. You won't talk, come outside. Tu don't feelings for a lie. You go nuts and I go lie. There nobody with your body. You won't talk, come outside. Through the shades and 20Ks, nobody can take my place. When we pop out, they all a mess. Bitch, you want to come outside. Got it loaded, ready to stress. We pop out, wipe them outside. I'm on a bad load.
Clean your shoes.
There ain't nobody with you on it. Feelings on me, bitch, but I can't let it closer. Glass broken, a black road. We be in emotion, they gon' speak on simple. Up on the road mail to find bitches I'm on, yeah. See my eyes, but cannot find it, yeah. Somewhere on the table, lady asked me for a kid, but said she really like my cadence. We pull up and grape our cheddar. She got wet on my voice memos. I wish yourself only better. Call it special, lot of chat. I'm in the bed like what's the weather? Bitch so fine, I need umbrella. Feelings on, will I get better? Down the stone without sweaters. Look for you in the night, for you always said I'm a go get her. 20 kids, bitch, yeah, spend them. I'm outside and then you met her, lady. I like when
It's
you
time to switch up the
make
flow.
Everything what that was not me, it's you ain't fair. I'm in the fire, a lot of small, a lot of things, just an umbrella. In my stash, a lot of sauce.
Ooh. Whoa.
Any motherfucking time. Okay. I don't see your face plenty times. I don't see your face plenty times. Not sure if
20 million likes for Golden Koi, please.
The purchase you want to come outside. Tu don't feelings for a lie. You go nuts and I go lie. There nobody with your body. You want to come outside. Through the shades and 20Ks, nobody can take my place. When we pop out, they all a mess. Bitch, you want to come outside. Got it loaded, ready to stress. We pop out, wipe them outside.
Cool. Fire, 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 fucking fire. Let's fucking go. I'm so happy to finally have a rapper on this fucking channel because god fucking damn it, I love rap. I listen to more rap than anything. I don't know if I've ever made that clear, but rap is by far my absolute favorite fucking type of music. I've always said this before. Rap is my first love. Jazz is my mistress. Wait, no. Wait, what? What do I always say? I don't remember what I say anymore. Oh, right. Classical music is my wife. Jazz is my mistress. And hip hop is my main bitch. Yeah. Somebody, Quad just said, switch up the flow. I agree. So I actually want to do something a little unusual for this channel, and I want to talk about some of the visual elements. So I'm going to very briefly go through the musical things, and then I want to talk a little bit about the visual components. So musically, you could have switched up the flow a little bit. By the time I got to the chorus, I was like, oh, is this the chorus? I'm using the term sort of loosely, but I was like, oh, this is the chorus, I guess. And because the verse was really long, and then it got to the chorus, I was like, maybe the chorus is just the tag, right? It could have ended with that kind of, don't go outside, you're outside, that kind of a thing, where it was like panned left and right and had that kind of weird tremolo chorus effect on it. The literal chorus effect, like the chorus doubling. The beat didn't have like a slamming 808 or a punchy kick, and I really liked that. It really added to this kind of just moody, brooding, fucking just like nasty, mean flow. I think you definitely could have used, because it's pretty low energy, like it's very, vibey attitude, but, go outside, da-da-da-da-da-da. Take an opportunity maybe at the end to like go up the octave, right? Because it all stayed on them. You had a little thing where you kind of went up to the G sharp, but he said down by the side. Maybe even just some background where like you go up the octave could have added a little bit of interest. The mix was clean. I liked the beat. So the visual, let's talk about the visual. You kind of had like what I'm not following what the story is. Like, don't go outside because you're outside, but then you're inside and you have a cigarette that you never light. Like what? Why are you afraid of lighting the cigarette? Is it a prop? You're like, oh, bro, I don't actually smoke. It was just a prop. You don't have any friends? Like, why are you alone? I actually like the fact that you're all alone, and that's what I wanted to talk about. The most striking visual component were these shots right here. Wait, where are they? It was some in the beginning. I wanted to see a lot more of this kind of weird, where you were in the car and it was like really, really fucking dark. Because there's no consistency in like the lighting or the color grading, right?
I don't see your face
like why is it's like orange and red here, and it's kind of like it looks like you're outside an apartment or in an elevator. This shit is tight. Like it would have been way cooler, and the video would have been way fucking more badass if the whole video, because you have this really understated kind of I don't know what to, like, kind of cloud, spacey, drugged out, trappy, wavy. If the whole video was just like some variation of this where your face is kind of obvious, like you can't really see your face, and it's like he's in a car, but we're not sure, is it a fucking spaceship? Like, what is this, and really playing with this idea that like you can't see, that would have been way more striking. Instead, it's like here's like 10 different shots here. The lighting is really good, and there's like a key light directly on your face. Oh wait, the cigarette is lit there. Then it's like daytime. Then it's nighttime. Then you're in the woods. Like where are you? What is going on? What I don't understand. It could have been so cool if it was just all that weird dark car shooting, but yeah. Oh man, we got super chats coming in. Appreciating that. This is great. I would give this this is an easy 8.5. Points docked because the structure of the composition was composition, but yeah, definitely could have gone up an octave, added some element of energy, and it wouldn't have taken away from it. Absolutely would not have taken away from the vibiness of it if you had just, or even maybe not going up the octave with energy, but gone into like a falsetto. That shit would have been tight as fuck, right? That would have been so sick. Can we get W's in the chat for Richard the Mod, who just texted me and said that he got a job that he was auditioning for last week, and we are super proud of him. Can we get props in the chat for Richard, please? Props in the chat, everyone. Hell yeah. Okay. 8.5 points docked for the visual. That kind of lost me. And then the flow was a little the flow was too consistent, I guess, if that makes sense. Not enough variation in the flow. So, hell yeah. All right, right now we have 5,000 something. Is that Korean won? What is that? So, yeah, cool. 8.5 out of 10, easy. Let's get up to 20 million likes, everybody. 20 million likes. All right, next up in the super chat, 2 European pounds. How? Right? I'm pretty sure that's pounds. And we are going with Petisco Music from Portugal. Let's see here. This is called Cintia, I think, an orchestral symphonic piece. Any minute now. Steve Barron, thank you for the popcorn. Love you. Nice to hear some strings. It's all been like wind band shit. For the large piece, I know the string orchestra. Very pretty. Those MIDI flutes are ridiculous. Very heartthrobby. Oh, nice. Oh my God. Oh, nice. Nice little delay into the deceptive cadence. Violins taking the... Oh my God. Bro, not sending me a concert C score is criminal. All right, this is one of those things. I hate when I look ahead because, spoiler alert, there's a French horn solo. And I'm like, oh, that would have been so beautiful. But I looked ahead and I saw the French horn solo. Boo. I wish I could have, spoiler alert, r/ when you read music too good. This might be one of the best pieces. $20 million likes, everybody. Oh, what? Bravo. Bravo. Brav friggin' oh. Incredible. In-friggin' credible. I hate that, that was a standing ovation, then I realized I'm wearing, like, underwear. I hate that there's a second... Look at this ominous shit. Look at this. The second movement is just a blank page. What the fuck? Immediate 0. 0 out of 10. Loser. Blank second movement. That talk about blue balls, bro. All right. This is just breathtakingly gorgeous. Now, that is coming from somebody who does not like this type of music. Let me say it again. I do not like this type of music, and this is one of my all-time favorites that I've reviewed. Out of the many, many, many 3 live streams that I've done, this is probably my favorite. I understand it. It's simple yet elegant. It's accessible but exciting. It's slow but moving. It's sad but joyful. I only have a few thoughts. I mean, the theme, like, sorry, sometimes when I go to say something, I like read a comment and then I forget what I was going to say. Hand a page like that to an actual musician. I don't know what that means. That's what somebody in the chat said. Yeah, hand a page like to actual. What, am I not an actual musician? What does that mean? Anyway, no, I know what you're saying. There's a melody. There's a clear melody, right? I'm able to follow it. I'm able to feel it. The orchestration is very safe and conventional, but this is the time where the melody and the chords and the harmonic structures are so beautiful that it doesn't matter that it's conventional. It doesn't matter that it's, there's a bunch of different things that sound like this. It's actually just that, like this, it didn't need anything else. It didn't need to be extra. It didn't need to be, like, it didn't need some weird fuck-uppery, right? I'm sure... I am curious as to what the other movements are, because if all the other movements are just like this, only like faster or something, like we might have some words. But right now, it's just super powerful and super beautiful. Like, this is gorgeous. My one big note is these flute frills, these little gestures. I know that these are not, these are much more just providing a texture, right? They're just adding little textures. They're not supposed to be melodic. However, they're the same. That high D, D flat stands out. Pause. Fabio, I'm still we're just running through the queue right now. We're running through the queue, and if you want to skip the queue, you drop a super chat. That's how this works. Right now, we are 5 or 6 deep out of probably 30. So this high D flat really stands out. You could do. Oh, it changes there. Okay, there's it goes to a C there. But yeah, don't be afraid to add a little bit of more, that one note difference. I don't really hear it, and I know it's not necessarily designed to be heard. It's just a gesture. But you could also color these and maybe use these as something a little bit bigger in like some of the crescendo. Let's see. They probably did this where everything's sort of crescendoing into a tutti. Wait a second. Why are the brass? Wait a minute. What's going on here? What the fuck is Super Chat? Super Chat is where you donate on the stream. So the composer said the title, Sparks in English, has to do with the wildfires in Portugal that have been through the past week. Okay, so yeah, it's poignant and sad. It's beautiful. Patisco. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. Fill out anything if you want to do it via form. Form is the way to go. Absolutely gorgeous music. I'd love to hear more from this. For sure. Frickin' love it. Absolutely gorgeous. Okay, moving on in the chat. We are now at, oh my goodness. Okay, so we have 28. We have 39 submissions now. We have 39 submissions. So if you want to skip the queue, drop a super chat. And that is how you are going to skip the... Oops, I just changed it. That is how you're going to skip the line. Let's go on to Danny. So Danny Endos, I believe I checked out some of your music in the past. I'm excited. I don't remember. What did you do? Experimental Sense. Zen Harmonic. Ooh. All right. Without any further ado, this is a Experimental Sense by Danny Endos. That's right. You did Misty. That's right. So for those of you that are listening, like, sounds weird. This is a microtonal piece of music. Bravo. 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 Yeah, so Fabio just said that's not even how there are 35. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. There's 39 submissions. I that's true. I don't know. Okay, so like, you know, I have no reason to lie. I'm just telling you how many submissions there are. This is, I'm going to say the same thing I said last time. So I like the experimental tuning stuff. It's really cool. This is less aggressively microtonal than the Misty was 13 Edo, right? 13, not 13, 31 divisions of the octave. It's funny. So yeah, we right, wasn't the Misty was the 13, was 13, not 13. I keep saying, oh, my dyslexia. 31 notes per octave. This is a 19 notes per octave. This one's a little bit harder for me to latch onto, and the reason is because of the MIDI. Now, I understand that the MIDI is being used for certain purposes, but I think that you could really experiment with the microtonal components and still, as an electronic composition, and still hold its artistic integrity, because the very MIDI-ness of it takes away from what you're trying to accomplish. And this is kind of the same thing that I said before. The Misty one, it almost worked more because it was so MIDI and it was so wild with the 31 Edo that it was like, okay, this is crazy. But because this is more subtle, those MIDI voices, it's a little hard to get into, and it has nothing to do, like, I'd be fine with a MIDI choir and a MIDI cello if there was a little bit more, like, dynamic production value. So having some of these, velocity changes, better sounding instruments. And I know that some of this has to do with like the resources that you might have or don't have access to, or do have access to, but choose not to use. I don't know. But it makes it a little bit harder to really sink my teeth into, because it's just like, the rhythms are very simple. Like, if you're going to do this and you're going to go the MIDI route, do something better than just like half notes. You know what I'm saying? But then again, hearing it performed live, those really simple rhythms, those very simple rhythms might actually work much more in your favor. But so I want you to think, keep experimenting, but also be wary that there is a possibility that, these pieces might not get performed because they're too difficult, or you maybe not have the right musicians. But, so prepare yourself to have them only exist in MIDI. And if that's the case, find a way. And I'm sure there's plenty of free, like, you don't have to go crazy and buy expensive plugins. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can really use, free resources to accomplish something that's going to be more musically impactful than these very stock. Cass says there could be a lot more movement in the voices. I don't disagree, but I think I understand why the voices are these sort of static chords. But yeah, like, there could be more rhythmic movement throughout. Also, I'm not really sure on notationally speaking, like, why is it quarter note equals 140 when the half note gets the beat? That's sort of confusing. Like, just do half note equals 90 or whatever, 20, 50, 60, 70. It's math. Math didn't math just now. That was embarrassing. I didn't like this one as much as the Misty, but I really like it, and I really like that you're experimenting with these tunings. This is a 7. This is a 7. Did the last piece, that orchestral piece, did I give it a score? This is definitely a 10, right? Crazy. All right. Moving on. Really, thank you for the submission. Love it. Antonio Bailey Phillips with the $12 super chat right now. $12 is the price to beat. Did I hear 12? Did I hear 15? We know Antonio. We love Antonio. Antonio sent a beautiful a beautiful flute quartet last time. So now I'm very anxious to hear what Antonio Bailey Phillips put together. A piano, vocal, orchestral, symphonic. What? That's a lot of things. All right, here we go. Thank you for the $12. Okay. Oh, nice. Dun, the syncopation. Oh, I see. That's the vocal melody. Okay, a little ooh, nice little harmonic. You did that in the other piece with the melodic minor thing. I have no idea where we are in the score. One five. Antonio, can you explain to me, like, the voice part? I'm, like, confused. Nice, cool. Okay, dokie. Very, 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 very cool. I like it. It's reminiscent of the other piece that you did. I now have a sense of your aesthetic, if you will. Real quick, you can submit anything. I want to submit my score, but it's 20 instruments and 5 minutes long. That's fine. So, Antonio. So I'm still confused as to what the voice part is. There's like a voice for like 12 measures, 3, 6, 9. There's a voice for 12 measures and that's it? I'm like really confused. And because the voice then has like this sixths here. Like, what am I supposed to do with this major sixth in the voice? It's too big of a file. Bounce it down as an MP3 and send the score. It shouldn't be. Sorry, I'm talking to somebody in the chat. So, yeah, I don't really understand what the voice is doing. I'm going to be more critical of this than I was the other one because I am a piano player and you misclicked the other one. Okay. So wait. Oh, I see. Well, then, yeah, just put it all it's because the reason I was confused with the voice thing is because there's like this third stave for 12 measures and that's it. So, yeah, I'm going to be a little bit more critical because you're a flute player and you wrote beautiful flute music. I'm a piano player, and this sounds like a flute player who wrote piano music. No voice. No, I understand now. The most interesting thing about it are some of these things, these kind of little piano, these little little rhythmic deviations. But the left hand just goes on forever. It's constantly just moving in these 16th note arpeggiated figures for the entire piece. It doesn't breathe. Right? Now, and I remembered that was something that you had in your flute quartet that I really liked, is that it kept moving, but it still retained its overall, what do you call it? Like momentum. Whereas this one, the momentum didn't carry as far. And it kind of makes me wonder if like all of your music kind of does this arpeggiated, uplifting music, which is not a bad thing if it does. But like, you know, like if I see if I see one more piece of yours that sounds like this, I'm gonna say it's time to experiment with other harmonic and melodic techniques or textural techniques. So your sensibilities in terms of the harmonic content, the modulations all over the place, it's very, very pretty and it really works well. But because it's like the harmonies kind of modulating and changing all over the place in conjunction with the constant 16th notes, I feel like one is disservicing the other, right? You could have these elaborate chord changes, you know, these sort of more intricate modulations, but you can't also have the constant running 16th notes. Like I understand what you're trying to accomplish, so I don't have any questions. I understand the piece, so that's a win. But like it starts feeling a little directionless. Like it was hard for me to even like figure out. I was like, where is it in the score? Because it's kind of all the same, and all the modulations, like they're all sort of relative. Like what are we in? Okay, you know, we start in this sort of E major-y thing, and then, you know, now we're on the 4, and then we move to the 3. Okay, very nice. Now we're on the 5. You know, we're kind of still in E major land. Then we start getting into this sort of weird, whatever this land is here. So we have like some C flat. Like what key are we in? It's hard for me to even kind of get. We have 3 flats in the key signature, which there's no warning. It just goes into that, and then we start having like sharps and D sharps when we have 3 flats. It's like what's going on? As far as readability, like if I was reading this, I'd be like, why am I seeing D sharp and C sharp when there's 3 flats, and then I'm seeing C flat and then B natural and D sharp and F sharp? Like, what was the point of the 3 flats? Maybe you misclicked, like you accidentally put a key signature you didn't mean to, or like this was like improvised maybe and then converted to MIDI. I do like it though. Like I don't hate it at all. I think it's really pretty. And the melody, you have a good, like the melody is like a flute, you know what I mean? It's got those soaring, it's got that sort of soaring melodic quality that's really nice. But I don't feel like it arrives anywhere. And these arpeggiated figures, like play around, commit to one idea, and then try and develop that idea. It's just, I guess if it came down to one word, I would say it's meandering a little bit. Like this would require, with the way some of these arpeggios are set up, like in the physical hand, I would be like, man, this is going to take a lot of work to, get it up to tempo. And they're like some of the leaps, like some of this stuff is a little bit tricky. Where else? There was another part that stood out to me. I was like, ooh, this would be a little bit hard. And it's like, is it justified? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, why are we in E major when it's E flat? What? How did we get here? I think it's the wrong key signature. I think you put in the wrong... I think you forgot you clicked the wrong key signature. I think it's supposed to still be an E major, and it's just E flat for no reason. So, and it's like, if it's going to be challenging, like I personally would be like, I'm not going to, this is going to take more time than it's worth to work on for me, because I'm not like the best piano player in the world by any means. So, find a way to make it more engaging. But I'm approaching this as a piano player, so maybe I should have thought of it more as a composition teacher. I don't know. That's a 7. Because because I understand it and the melody's really pretty and your chords and your harmonic vocabulary are excellent, but it's a 7, that's good, right? You had a 10 last time and a 7 now. Thank you so much for sharing. So props to you. People are asking about the VOD. I have not uploaded the other VOD yet. I have to trim the beginning because it's crazy. All right, everybody. We are on a roll right now. We are on a roll. We've got quite a few pieces to go through. And no one in the super chat queue, so we're just going to keep going down the queue list. Cass, I think I saw you. You are up next. Antonio, I look forward to hearing a third piece of yours, by the way. I am curious because now I want to know. I have my own assumptions about your compositional style, and now I want to confirm it. All right. Cass. Ooh. Cass, also known as Michael McGlynn. I'm not doxing you. Your name is on the sheet music that's in the YouTube video. Wait, Jasmine Hughes. Wait, what is your name? Ooh, nice. Oh, that was slick. Lord Jesus is in this place. Oh my God. Talk to him. Oh no, it's almost over. Woo! Hey. 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 Wait, are you playing that chord? Oh, I see. It's divided between hands. Okay, I'm going to actually read the video description because I'm really curious about this. That was fucking cool. A cappella composition based on a poem by Francis Ledwidge is one obsessed with some. Okay, blah blah blah. Sorry, I was like, I want to read this, and then I was like, I don't want to read this anymore. I probably sounded so fucking rude. So this is a vocal piece? I'm confused. Oh, okay, they just said check the video description. Score versus a subtle harmonic movement. It's a vocal song? Hold on. Let's listen to a little bit of this vocal thing.
She'll come at dusky first of day, white over yellow harvest song. Upon her dewy rainbow way she shall be beautiful and strong. The lidless. All
right, so I see. It's a piano arrangement of a vocal tune. So wait, Cass, did you write this? Or is this your arrangement? I'm confused. I guess I'm not confused. Oh, I don't know who Michael McGlynn is. Oh, it's an arrangement. I see. Okay. I don't want to listen to the whole original recording. Okay, so it's an arrangement. I see. The arpeggio, I don't want to say I like it less, because I still really like it, but now I understand what I'm looking at. Because I was like, it was funny, like the underlying composition is gorgeous. The arrangement is nice too. The arrangement is nice. I like the little pianistic frills. If you're gonna do an arrangement, this almost feels like it's a reduction rather than an arrangement. Like this is like the keyboard player is helping everyone rehearse. Does that make sense? You know, with a couple of embellishments. Like, you could have... Oh, I'm in treble clef. That was weird. You could have done a little bit more, you know, with like adding a more substantial intro. Right, a little intro, playing with the range, because you're keeping the whole thing in the range of the voice, right? And it's like, if this is an arrangement for piano, make it for piano, not, oh, it's for men's choir. You know what I'm saying? Like, make it so it's for the piano and it's not just sitting in the register of the voices, because then it's like, well, why do I need to hear the piano arrangement when I can just hear the original recording? You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was thinking this is a piano composition. I was like, oh, it's really nice and tender. And so maybe this discredits my point, because I was like, if it was just a piano composition, I was actually going to say, I like that the melody's in the bass and that you kind of keep the melody low throughout. That's a cool pianistic technique. But it's like, no, that's just because you transcribed. That's the way the voice fell. So it's like, oh, well, if it's an arrangement, I mean, and obviously I see here you go up the octave. But it's like, if it's an arrangement, make the arrangement more of an arrangement. You know, some of these harmonies, I don't know if they're in the original recording, are really nice. Also, your performance, you're a good keyboard player. You're a good piano player. Good playing. So, yeah. Man, this was like an easy 9, but now that I know that it was an arrangement, you lost a couple of points. I love you. You're a fantastic human being. Composed by Michael McGlynn, arranged for Jasmine and Cass. Where do you come in? No, I know you arranged it. So as an arrangement, be more adventurous. It's a 6, man. Oh, the harmonies are yours? Okay, it's a 7. It's a 7. 7.5. Smooth 7.5. Thank you so much for your submission. All right, we are moving down the queue. We've got 20. We have a lot to get through. JJ Composer, All the Things You Are, one of my favorite jazz tunes. This is a Canon. What is going on? What is this nonsense? This is very cursed. What is happening? Oh my God. Uh-huh. This is so blurst. Okie dokie. Wait, JJ, did you do the Misty one? Wait, did I get the other person totally confused? I'm so confused. I feel like I've been saying that a lot. Schoenberg Free Jazz. Wait, JJ, are you the one that did the Misty composition and I was talking about that other 18 Tet? I'm super confused. Okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay, it was that was, what is this window? I understood it. It's just kind of a cursed atonal canon on a. It sounds that to me sounded kind of just like an exercise, like that sounded like a composition assignment that you were given. I'm so wait. Did I do 2 of your pieces? Wait, what? Have I now done multiple of, wait, Danny, was Danny or was it JJ that did the microtonal Misty? Okay, all the things you are, I didn't like it. I love you as a person. It didn't do anything for me. It's a MIDI. Maybe if it was performed on a piano, I'd be like, oh, that's the. I'd be more inclined to listen to it. But it was just. I'm trying not to be mean. It's not for me, man. It just wasn't for me. I don't feel like I can give it a score because my score will be rude. All the Things You Are is one of my all-time favorite pieces it's one of my favorite tunes. And I have my own weird arrangement of it that I play. When I saw the title Canon, I thought it was going to be like a really, like some kind of interesting, like, yeah, I don't know, just atonal free jazz. Like, if you're going to go crazy harmonic, like, make it fast and wild and clustery and, like, bombastic. It was way too simple for it to be that atonal, if that makes sense. Those minor ninths sort of bopping around. So that's sort of my take. I don't want to sound, I feel like I'm being rude, but it is what it is. JJ says an exercise counterpoint. Okay. Well, maybe I should have reviewed it as such, but I like it. I don't like it. Sometimes weird tickles my brain. In this case, it did not tickle my brain. It just wanted me to turn my brain off. Try again. I want you to redo. Alicia, thank you once again for the super chat coming in clutch. I appreciate you. JJ, I want you to redo that piece and then email me. My Seth is David is Seth at gmail.com. Seth is David is Seth at gmail.com and email me, and I want to re-review that piece, right? Because it's like a 1. It's a 1 out of 10. Yeah, but see, somebody said props for doing something different. I've heard different, and I think, okay, it's a 2. I feel bad. Now I feel bad. I want you to not redo it, but work through it. Work through it more. RC, no, these streams are also going to be on Wednesday. I just decided to do one today because I was in a fun mood. JJ, work on it again. Send me another one, and I will guarantee you a spot without a super chat. Okay? So email me at sethisdavidisseth@gmail.com, and I will definitively review it. And you can upgrade your 2 because and the engraving was bad. If it was properly, if it had good engraving, a good notation, maybe, but it was just hard to look at, hard to listen to. MIDI, it just didn't work. All right, sorry. I love you, but sorry. All right, Alicia, it is becoming the Alicia Dalby stream today with the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. Right now, $10 is the price to beat to skip the line. If you want to usurp the throne and become diamond tier composer, $10 is the one to beat. I'm getting used to just getting over the cringe of asking for money. I'm just like, fuck it, dude. Like, I got a baby. I got a wife and daughter. I charge $60 an hour from my home studio. I had 4 and then I work a full-time job, so I don't know, $10 is cheap. Plus, we need 20 million likes. All right, let's see. This is called what is it called? Hals and Adar, and Encounter with Banette. It's another band piece. You like the band. All right, let's go. I'm super excited because so far your music is S tier. A tier. We'll be listening. Love the melody. Zesty. Dude, this is some like hookers. Oh my god. But like some like sex workers murdering their Johns type beat. Hookers is not a nice word, Seth. Maybe it's because it's giving the habanero from Carmen. Nice moment. That was a beautiful moment in the percussion. That tambourine is really going. Where are we? The score is hard to read. It's huge. For a second, I thought it was in portrait. Straight mute. Oh, this is nice. Woo! This is more operatic. That was a much needed break from the tambourine. Little sneaky music. Ooh, trumpet. I want to hear more of this. The bass clarinet, bassoon, bari sax stuff. Booty. I want to hear the full band start playing that doo da dee da dee da doo da thing. Oh, good. It starts happening here. Is the percussion going to come back? I've learned with your music not to like where I think something should happen, it then happens like immediately after. Like here, for instance. Where's that bassoon line? Whoa! This is awesome. Whoa. Sick. Bum 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 bum. Shostakovich's Fifth Symphony, Allegro. Okay. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Give me 1 second. My wife is texting me, and then I want to talk about this great piece. Sorry, 1 second. I promise I want to engage. Did my internet just drop out? Super, super cool. Okay, sorry. All right. So really good composition in terms of the structure and form. It's a little bit on the longer side, but that did not mean that it went on too long. For about 4.5 minutes, it didn't feel like 4.5 minutes to 5 minutes. It felt with the two very clearly defined sections, it had it was proportionately sound. Very driving in the percussion. It could be a MIDI thing that I'm like, all right, let's I get it. It's moving, but that's, kind of to be expected in terms of the MIDI stuff. It starts getting a little bit monotonous. I have, now that this is the third or fourth piece of yours that I've heard, I'm again starting to understand your compositional style a little bit more, and it's making me have more challenges for you as a composer. And I will elaborate on that. I just want to get through some of the finer points of this particular piece. There wasn't anything I disliked at all. The big crunchy chords, you're like me. You like those big crunchy chords. They sound great. The ripping lines up to the triple fortissimo points. Your orchestration is good. Your use of the instruments. You're obviously a wind player or a brass player, I imagine. I guess I could be wrong, but at some point you've played in band, or else you wouldn't only be writing band music. Let's see, percussion. Percussion was well used. I liked that this didn't have quite as much of the sort of bouncing around different instruments that you kind of have had in the other pieces, like the call and response kind of a thing. There's little bits of it, like here. There was that trumpet solo with the straight mute that came in. There was this flute solo that was nice that I really liked. The opening melody I wanted to hear a little bit more. Like I felt like it got buried, or I forgot what it was or something. Because I remember at the beginning I was like, oh, I love the melody, and then I didn't hear it again, or I forgot what it sounded like or something. You know what I mean? So it obviously didn't stick in my head. But maybe that's a me problem. Your rhythm, this stuff is excellent. We in grad school we called these the mandatory triplets. The mandatory triplet. It just feels good. There's nothing wrong with it. The transition into the haunted was excellent, where you have the clarinets with the flute kind of playing this little doop 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 that gets picked up with the snare doubling. That's cool. That's a great technique, right? Where you have some of those kind of medium high instruments floating with the snare playing that sort of march rhythm. I guess you do. And then the cor anglais doing its solo here. That was pretty solid. So now let's move on to the composition. Yeah, I mean, all this shit. This is fantastic, right? The big tutti, big stuff. So now now that I'm understanding you as a composer a little bit, I'm wondering why you are always writing for band. You know what I'm saying? It seems like you're... Wait a sec. Am I not live? Are we back? Wait, did I exit out of the live? That was super weird. Did I accidentally close out of the live? Wait, did you hear me talking? Chat, where we at? Did I fall off? Did I disconnect at one point? That was super weird. Okay, that was weird. I couldn't find the window. Okay. Anyways, I couldn't find where the live window was. I think I opened up a separate window and I was like, wait, have I been talking? All right. Anyways, sorry about that. That why you tend to be writing just for the band. Tukni, no, I see your super chat. I see it. Don't worry. I got you. Your super chat didn't go bye-bye. I see it. Don't worry. Thank you for the super chat. That you are always writing for band, and it makes me wonder why you haven't written for orchestra. And maybe you have, but you've consistently sent me. And so if I was, if you were my composition student, I would say, all right, I've seen plenty of band music. I want to see an orchestral piece or a chamber piece, because you it's not that you rely on the same techniques, but that I'm seeing a lot of the similar techniques, and now I'm wondering if you can operate outside of those and start moving into a more, I don't want to say experimental realm, but a more abstract realm. And, my next question is what kind, and I've made it a point to avoid this particular topic, even though this is a huge part of my compositional journey and a lot of my graduate work. But like alternative styles of notation, aleatoric notation, starting to sort of push the boundaries of what you, hello, Antonio. Thank you again for the donation. Appreciate it. That what kind of, I always want to say punishment could you offer the band where you start pushing yourself outside of the bounds of like, oh, these chords are really crunchy and wild, and that's, my definitive style. And I love the crunchy, wild chords, but what other practices are you exercising to sort of push yourself? Do you have, because your music has kind of a quirky, odd, not quite atonal, but definitely more texture, less harmonically driven, as far as like conventional ear candy harmonies, like chord progressions. And that's something that I struggled with a lot until I just started writing more conventional. And I'm not talking about my videos. I'm talking about like my quote unquote actual music. And so that's starting to sort of pick at my brain a little bit and wonder what other sort of styles can you write in? Because, this rhythmic band, kind of zany outsider band music is great, but now it's time to see something new. So, and maybe for all for all I know, you have tons of it and you just, what I like now. So you're sending me stuff that, I like. But with all that said, I love this piece just like I liked your other bit. Like, this is a 9. This is easily a 9 because there's nothing wrong with it. The ending is great. I love the down-tempo ending here. That was really, 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 really nice. Although I wouldn't put the word haunted both times. I would refrain from that. So, yeah. I think this even though I kind of spent more time shitting on you, I like this one better than the other one. I like a little more melodic. I think the orchestration is a little more impactful. There was that one moment kind of near the beginning where the bass drum finally comes in, and that shit was popping. Hell yeah. Love it, love it, love it. Curious to hear what else you got going on. All right. Tuki Nai, you are up with the $10 super chat. I appreciate you. On Danger's Edge. And there is no score. Okay. Oh, hell fucking yeah, dude. Oh, that spicy core. Good change. With the halftime, with the harps. Oh, nice. With the... Nice. The old blues line. What? Mystery Land. Where's it gonna go? Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, nice little spicy little sexy flute, just doing some fluty things. Kirby vibes. Oh, tight. Jump, jump, bump, da da dum, da dum, dum, beat 'em a bump, bump, bump. I hope you stick with this rhythm. Oh, sweet little violin bliss. Cool little sort of diminution of the piano thing. D, D, D. The metric modulation is really nice. Yeah, this is two-piece. So glad the guitar came back. Please tell me it ends there. Excellent, excellent. I gotta hear that beginning again. Okay. Vibey chat. What are we saying? I'm seeing a 9.4. 9.44444. Okay. So, you first and foremost, really, really cool piece. Tanuki, your name there. It was we're at 666 views. So as far as like a vibe, I like it. Now, as a composition, actually as a vibe, I love it. As a composition, I like it. But why did it start? That's why I said, I was like, I need to hear the beginning again. Because it starts on kind of this like spy theme bluesy stuff. with the brass, right? But then it kind of goes into this kind of woodland stuff. And normally I would really like, this juxtaposition of spy theme into like Welcome to the Shire, but it created a sort of disjoint. It sort of created this disjunct feeling that I couldn't quite place. Like I forgot what the by the time I got to the middle, I was like, wait a minute, where did we start, and what happened to this danger's edge? Like we were in the danger zone, and then we got put into cute fun land, and then we went into like weird psychedelia at the end, and for some reason it's like those are all things that I would want, that I would do. But why is it sitting oddly with me? And I think it has to do with a lack of commitment into that whole middle sort of floaty part. Like the really this this kind of fun fantasy thing. It's like, oh, haha, we started in, y'all can't see it, but the picture is the most ridiculous AI generated picture of a dwarf holding his belly, and it's so weird. And I keep looking at it, and it's distracting. It's like tripping me out. And so, we start in this groovy spy business, but then we move into fantasy la la land, but it's too good, right? It's too subtle. It needs to be more this kind of soupy sarcasm, like super gushy, more bells, more harps, more over the top in terms of the feel goodness. If that makes sense, if you're going for heavy-handed, each section idea, they kind of just go from one thing to the other, and I'm not convinced about, like, the beginning and the end are really strong, and the middle is a good idea, but it needs to either be really over the top, like strawberry, cupcake, Candyland, beauty, or it needs to be kind of sideways weird beauty. And at this point, it's kind of just, oh, this is really pretty. And so that's if I'm being like, I think this is more about aesthetics than composition, but that's kind of what it was. It felt generic, like almost like a placeholder. A placeholder, a good representation of a placeholder of an idea that still needs to be developed. And a little bit of lack of commitment, especially when you're pushing 6 minutes for the piece of music. So I like the boss music. I like it very much. But it's it sort of took me out in the middle, even though I liked it. It's kind of hard to put my finger on. No, I feel like I said it. Yeah. So a 10 out of 10 idea. The execution is going to be like a 2-point dock. The ending was the weird guitar at the end. Like, what happened to the guitar? And then the rock drums, and the 4/4 into sort of 6/8 halftime with the metric modulation stuff kind of in the melody, and that piano that kind of ushered it in and then took it out, really solid. Yeah, it was like an 8.5. I'd give that 8.5. I'm curious to hear what else you do. And it was weird because it started off as a as kind of boss themey and then with the MIDI instruments, but then it kind of was like, oh no, it's orchestral. Oh wait, now we're back to video game boss theme. You know what I'm saying? So kind of tripped me out. Very, 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 very cool. Everyone's saying 9. I'm saying 8.5, man. I'm not going to lie. All right. Bastian Moss with the 5.99 euros. That's like $7. Is next, followed by another $5 super chat from Phillips. So let's check out a salsa tune from Bastian Moss. I think I'm saying that right. Bastian. And then we're probably going to start wrapping up after these two. So keep those super chats going, but it's starting to get late. So I'm going to probably have to end it after these two super chats, unless, big super chats right now, 10 6 is to beat. All right, let's see. Where is Bastian? I'm not seeing Bastian with the salsa MIDI track. A salsa tune. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing the salsa tune. Do you have a different name or something? I'm not seeing it. I will review it. I just don't see it. Do you have a different name or something in the Google forum? Please make sure that you submit when you submit your piece via the Google form, make sure the name in the Google form is the exact same name as your YouTube. Otherwise, here it is. I see. Bastian Moss 31. See, that's why. All right, here we go. They said it is MIDI except the percussion. So a MIDI with the percussion, with live percussion? Yeah. Tormenta Amores. Sorry. That was... Sorry, that MIDI voice is killing me. So, are you Bastian? Are you a percussionist? I'm assuming. Oh, that was a nice modulation. I'm like, I don't know where this is on the score. With the codas and the repeats. Hey. I love this whole kind of bridge instrumental section. Piano solo. I should be able to find this. Whoa. Still on the repeats. Okay, that's... That will not be funny. Sweet. Love it. Okay. This is going to put me in a sort of interesting position. I cannot listen to this without my mind making scenes to it. I love it. That is from Fabio. Okay, so this is one of those instances where I can't speak much to the composition. I've been to plenty of like Latin jazz bands, salsa bands. It sounds good, right? It sounds sensible. The arrangement is great. Is this an original tune? It sounds like, one of the many salsa tunes that I've heard. Like, it sounds like a Latin jazz tune. Like real, not like fucking bum 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 bum. Like, this is a very well orchestrated. I have a couple of books on like how to write for various Latin jazz ensembles, and this is excellent. The little bongo solos and everything. Nothing stands out as like, oh, that needs fixed. But then again, with that, nothing stands out other than like, I'm really vibing with this, and the MIDI sucks because there's so much feeling in the music that just cannot be captured. And maybe it's just, like I've gotten used to hearing band and orchestral music and the MIDI scores, so it's like, I can kind of get over it, but it just really hurts my soul to hear, like what is designed to be live. The I am curious as to what the words say. I don't know. Obviously, I don't speak Spanish, but I like the use of the soloist that then goes into the divisi. But yeah, there's not a whole lot I can say in terms of like the music itself, because I don't have a whole lot of experience writing and working in this particular style. So it's like, maybe there's like, oh, you didn't do the whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, oh, you should have used a 2-3 instead of a 3-2 son clave there. Like, I don't fucking know, dude. But as a composer and as a musician, you are a percussionist. So that makes me want, it's a great melody. I love it. So it makes me want to, what is at moron? Be careful. Who's moron and what are they doing? It makes me wonder, like, what else are you writing? Because if you have the capacity to record percussionists, yourself playing percussion instruments, like, why not expand? And this is true for everybody here, right? We're getting all of these scores. Like, there's a reason that I don't really write orchestral music anymore, because I want to write things that can more or less be performed and heard the way that they're supposed to be. In instances of my fucking weird videos, like, they're just like produced tracks. But if you, and like, I don't love using myself as an example, but like, I intentionally write corny orchestral parts into my little videos because I know that I'm using a MIDI orchestra, and so I treat it like it's a MIDI orchestra. The ranges are wrong. I'm adding special effects where an orchestra wouldn't. I'm using intentionally canned sort of orchestral sounds and techniques because that is the instrument. I'm not writing for an orchestra. I'm writing for a MIDI orchestra. They're not mock-ups. They're mocking-ups. I don't know. That didn't make sense. And so at what point as an artist are you hoping to have a salsa band play this? I have no idea. Maybe people and it's like, oh yeah, my uncle has a band and so they're going to play it. And it's like, great, love it. But as a percussionist, like, for me as a listener, what I want to hear, or what I would be more interested in hearing from you, wait, what is your name again? Bastian, right? Yeah. Is if you had said like, oh, here's a MIDI, Latin jazz big band tune that I wrote and I recorded the percussion, I would want, Alicia, thank you so much. Appreciate you big time. I'll see you next time. All right. Keep working. I love your stuff. Appreciate you, Alicia. Have a good night. So Bastian, if you had instead sent me like, hey, Seth, I'm a hand percussionist and here's this kind of weird piece of percussion music that I made. And, it's me playing 4 different types of drums, a set of congas, a set of bongos, and a djembe or something. And then, like, I took the recordings and, I added, like, some pitch delay, reverse, and made an electronic, quote-unquote, electronic composition out of the, you know what I mean? Like, a hybrid of percussion performance that has been produced. And this is something that I think really does go out to everybody here, because this is a really important concept that a lot of young composers are kind of struggling with, because we're in the digital age and it's like, I'll just use Sibelius or MuseScore or whatever, MuseScore especially. And so it's like, I'll write these orchestral things. Now, I would never say don't write these orchestral things, because that is really a valuable tool, but it's like if I'm going to submit something for someone to hear, and this isn't, I don't mean this disparagingly at all, but if I'm going to submit something for someone to hear, I want it to be the best possible reflection of me and my art as it can be. And what that means is, like, I'm not going to send a MIDI mock-up. I'm going to send like, hey, this is this weird piece of like narration, avant-garde, fucking sound mass, electronic composition, or like, here's a compilation of a bunch of weird, absurdist, quasi music education video. Like, I have used my videos as portfolio builders, like, because they stand alone. They don't represent something. They are the thing. Bastion, oh, you're a piano player. Wait, but you are okay. So play piano. What do we? I think there's a separate conversation happening. It doesn't matter what you played. My point still stands. That, you know, what can you accomplish with the resources you do have, rather than relying solely on hypothetical resources. And so, Bastion, I really thank you for sharing this, because it got me thinking about that in a way that I hadn't really thought about it. It's like, yeah, that is, to me, it's more important, like, do both, but represent your art in a way that doesn't rely on an ideal world. So, yeah, that's a wow, that kind of, I really appreciate you sharing your music, because I wouldn't have thought of it like that. But that's something I truly believe and truly practice. And so to put it into words, I don't think if you had not submitted this, I would have been able to sort of think of it in that way. Because it's like, yeah, it's Latin jazz and it's a big band. It's awesome. I love it. But this doesn't tell me much about you. This tells me about your ability to write in notation software and understand a style of music. So yeah, I have to give it a 10 because there's nothing wrong with it that I can catch. It's beautiful. You know, some like the cheeky little like triplets and with the bar 2/4 at the end was nice. Where some of the solos came in were really tasty. It's a really tasty. It has to be a 10 because I can't. It's almost like like when a team wins by default, right? The other team didn't have enough players, so they couldn't play, so the other team wins. Like, you win, you got a 10. That's funny. All right, let's move on to our last piece of the day. We're going with Antonio Bailey Phillips. It's called Calamity Theme. This will be the last piece of the night unless somebody drops into the super chat. Otherwise, I got to go because it is late. We got Bailey Phillips, composer, a string quintet, ? Did you just now write this? All right. This is Bailey's third piece I have heard now, and I'm curious to hear what else they got. It's a lot of whole notes. That's that Muse score. What? Something was weird. It was like, we're starting over. Something happened. The staccatos were like an eighth note off. Did anyone else hear that? That was so weird. No, it is. there's that Antonio Bailey Phillips chord change that we all have come to know and love. All right, that quarter note thing needs to be gone. Another note. I definitely understand you and your compositional style. No, a whole bar of tacit. Oh, but it modulated, or it moved into it, not modulated. Okay. More that Antonio Bailey Phillips chord changes. We need the signature, the ABF chord changes. Those should be 16th notes. Okay. I see. I see. I understand. Joseph Marr. Joseph, welcome back. Joseph, were you here for the last time that I reviewed your piece? Because I did get to it last time. And actually, I think it's the same piece, The Nonsense. You had left by the time I got to it, hadn't you? Okay. Antonio, I understand you. I can see into your soul. Your music is like a train. It starts, it goes, and it just keeps going. Joseph, don't apologize. I appreciate the super chat. Joseph, I appreciate it. Yeah, but I'll review it again. Why not? Live. So yeah, you write like a train that goes and it moves and it drives by all these scenic spots, which are those ABP chord changes that we're learning to understand, right? And these big chord changes are the change of scenery, right? Like now it's snow, now it's green, now we're on a mountain, now we're down low. And that's what you do. And now that I know that, I can really challenge you. It's like don't worry, your flute quartet is still a 10. No one can take that away from you. But you are in a box, my friend. You are in a box. You rely on forward-moving, dramatic chord changes. And you don't, and your rhythms don't. See, like I had thought that like, oh, this flute piece, this flute quartet, it used this sort of wall of sound, repeated figures throughout for texture, and it really made sense. And it was like a multi-movement piece, right? Or am I confusing it? Was it I think it was a was it a multi-movement? I don't remember. But I do remember it being like this wall of sound. And I don't know how old you are. But I think you have a graduate degree. And so it's like, maybe that's your compositional style, right? You know, like, well, you know, I've tried all these other things and this is where I've landed. I would push you to try and start exploring new territory. Yeah, okay, it was 4 movements. And it's like you have developed a comfortable place for you. This piece is, I don't dislike it. It's lovely. You have a beautiful harmonic vocabulary. Undergrad, right. This one looks like you whipped it out relatively quickly. Pause. Zolar is saying some kind of philosophical hoopla. And so with that, there's kind of this sameness. Like a good composer to me is where when I hear 3 pieces, I know that it's the same composer, but it's like 3 totally different. Like you shouldn't recognize a composer's sound just based on like I'm not getting myself in trouble, but I'm speaking very broadly because now in my head all I'm thinking about is examples. I'm like, no, like when you hear Terry Riley, you know it's Terry Riley. When you hear Philip Glass, you know it's Philip Glass. When you hear Benjamin Britten, you know it's, well, but actually, like you're toying with this minimalism, but it doesn't feel like this is your landing zone. You know what I mean? Like if this is your true compositional voice, I want to know what other, what other sides there are to you. And the fact that you sent me this and we're like, this one's different. And I'm like, not really. It's that moving train with the big, beautiful chord changes. Which is not to say I don't like it. It's beautiful. But yeah, it's, where are the pauses? Where are the breaths? Where's the drama? You know, kind of like what I was saying about somebody's earlier, like you almost rely on beautiful chord changes in lieu of harmonic ideas or even structural ideas. Timmy, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Compositionally on this one, not my favorite of yours. I'd said even while it was going, I was like, bro, like this dun 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 dun, like that shit ran out. Dum 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 dum. Yeah, it's too slow to have that quarter note going. Unless it's going bum, 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 bum. This kind of quarter note stuff works if it's like irregular phrasing, like it's in 5/4, then it goes into 3/2, then a few bars of 4, and then a couple bars of 3. You know what I mean? Kind of break it up, and then that gives it, this sort of like, whoa, irregularity, which will break it up. And that's how the quarter notes work. Or you got to add some kind of rhythmic variation. And then, yeah, by the time you get here, it's like, this is the big thing. It's not in a higher register, and it's kind of fast, but it's dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da-da, maybe, just even something like 16th notes. And I know that's like, just change, just literally whatever software you use, just make these 16th notes, copy and paste and just repeat them, up and down or something. Just give it a little bit more momentum. Yeah, that's kind of my that would be my big takeaway overall. And then with this piece, this kind of stuff could work with some irregularity. And actually, that irregularity might work really well with your style. This sort of moving train is in lieu of harmonic ideas. You have great in lieu of melodic ideas, to utilize your harmonic vocabulary, which is very well developed, is to start playing with the structure and form a little bit. Be more dramatic in your form. I would say you rest comfortably in your harmonic language, and that's a really good place to be. Somebody, you graduated from undergrad, it makes sense, right? But now let's start toying with your structural form. How do you formalize your ideas? Cool. Incredible. I love getting to know people through their music. All right, Joseph, let's take out Joseph and then wrap this thing up. All right, we got Joseph Mars. I remember last time it was called Nonsense, and I think I remembered it being kind of like nonsense. Let's see here. Because it was something weird about the piano and voice. Oh, no, I didn't hear this. This shit. This I remember this part. This is sick. Cool. Right. Okay, yeah, I remember this piece. Okay, I'm going to try not to say the exact same thing that I said last time from what I remember, but all the same things stood out to me. So my first question for you, Joseph, well, one, slow clap, love it. Why does it say piano and voice? That is now the second or third time that you have submitted this piece, and it said vocal piano. What is the vocal part? I'm still confused as to why it says vocal piano. Like, is there something I'm missing? Because it's two pianos. And, like, at first I was like, oh, this is this right here is the vocal line. The bum, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-dum. But it's like, no, because then it becomes polyphonic, sort of. Not actually polyphonic. What is that? Homophonic, right? A little bit of polyphony here. So I don't really understand why it says voice and piano. It's clearly for two pianos. There's no dynamic. I mean, there's dynamic markings. There's no, like, the engraving leaves a lot to be desired. And I know it's like, well, I'm not an engraver or whatever, but, like, that will help communicate what your idea is. It's called nonsense, and I'm not sure, is that just like a throwaway title, like, oh, this is just something I put together? But this is now the second or third time you've submitted this, which tells me, like, I believe that this is a serious piece of music, and that it's not supposed to be. I really like this stuff. I think this is the meat of it. This bum, 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 bum. Very simple idea, but it's very powerful. But you don't treat the piano like a piano. You treat it like a beginner, kind of, but it's also in, like, a G sharp minor-ish kind of area. So, like, there aren't any chords, the harmony all kind of, the range and harmony kind of all sit in the same place. Like, the piano goes pretty high and pretty low, and I don't think you get below this D sharp, right? That D sharp is like the lowest note, and it doesn't seem to get any higher than, like, the D sharp. Like, you're not Liggity, you know what I'm saying? Liggity. This sounds like a really wonky version of a Liggity etude. Yeah, I think, like, there's a D sharp, maybe an F sharp, but, like, the piano is a very, very wide-ranging instrument that has much more, like, notes way up here, more range. It all just sits. And I'm seeing this more and more. Like, it all just sits in one range, and I don't understand why. Also, what is this? A glissandi between an A sharp and an A sharp? That's funny. Lean into more of this stuff. Bum, 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 bum. Also, that's physically hard to play. I remember this from last time. I can't playing. I can't physically reach that far. I have small hands, though. That's not a criticism. It's just funny. But, like, this is powerful. But then, like, what is this? Boo-dee, doo-dee, doom, 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 doom. Like, you could be doing way more. Us piano players, we're used to playing a lot more notes than this. So if there's an aesthetic reason for keeping it so simple, like, oh, this is a piece for beginner. But, like, if it's for a beginner, it shouldn't have 5 sharps. You know what I mean? I love this stuff. Be-doo-dee-doo-dee-dee-doo-dee-doo. This syncopated rhythm. That's nice. Good touch. Bum, 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 ba dum, da 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 dum, dum, da dum. This rhythm, good. So it seems like it's teetering behind. It's not a super melodic or harmonic piece of music. It's more rhythmic, right? It's more rhythmically driven. So really lean into those rhythms. Does that make sense? Lean into the rhythmic aspect more than just it seems like an uncommitted piece of music. And I feel like I've said that a few different times now, but like that's really what it's giving. Like you were afraid to stick like, oh, I can't have both pianos doing this part here and measures 47, 40. It's like, why? You know, have this dum, 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 you know, walking up the scale, you know, and then bouncing around. You know, if there's no melody, make it more of a percussion piece and really lean into the percussive nature of the piano. These are like all octaves. You know what I'm saying? Antonio, Bailey Phillips, have a good night. Appreciate you. Look forward to the next stream and hearing whatever else you got cooking. So yeah, really great start. Really good idea. I give this this is like a solid 7. I think I gave it a 7 last time. So I'm very curious, Joseph, to see this if it further develops. You know, to hear what else this can become, because right now it seems a little underdeveloped. And I imagine that you're kind of just a Fabio, I don't fill out the docs. People, I don't know. I have no idea. Piano, vocal. Oh, is that like a... Oh, I see. The option is just piano, vocal. That's funny. Okay. I'll talk to Richard about that. I see what you're saying now. That's so funny. But yeah. All right, that's it for me. I've been streaming for a little over 3 hours, and I'm tired. Questions when the next stream will be. Wednesday. It will be next Wednesday. That's when I'm doing these. The forms do not carry over from stream to stream because that would be too many. Like, that would be over 100 in the queue. So we just do a new form responses, start when the next stream starts. I'll make an announcement. Stay posted. I usually post about it on my Instagram as well as here on YouTube. So no responses don't carry over. The only thing that carries over are super chats. If I run out, that happened the first stream. I had a bunch of super chats that I just couldn't get to because I had been streaming for 4 hours and we were still rocking and rolling. Okay. I'm going to take off. This has been absolutely fantastic. I had tons of fun, heard some great music. I'm glad that I decided to sort of spontaneously do this. I appreciate everybody being here. I appreciate all of you, all of your music. I wish I could, I truly mean this when I say that I wish I could hear everybody's music, but I just don't have that much time.